Okay, what I'd like to do is to show you some of the equipment and some of the problems that you might have in terms of trying to find the right buttons or the right thing. So let me just walk you through the actual lab itself. I would take probably about an hour to do this, although if you know exactly what you're doing, you can get through it and the whole thing in a couple minutes. First thing I would like to do is show you where you're at is that this is in the speech science lab, so it's 1026 Roseman. So it's really the last door on your left as you're coming down the hall from the office. So, when you come in here, you'll see three computers. This computer right here, this one, and one over on the corner. The one that you're going to be using is the middle computer here. To turn on the power, if the computer is not on, the power button is right in the middle of the computer. You also make sure that when you turn on the power, that you turn on the power for the VisiPitch. It's like that. There should be a green light. And then, of course, the screen should be on. If the screen is off after you've turned these on, you might want to just go ahead and hit the power for that. But that should be on all the time. Now, the first part of the lab has to do with finding your fundamental frequency. Now, to do that, you need to open up the VisiPitch icon, which is located right there. Double-click on that. Then you can see a number of different options here. The one that you're going to be needing is this one called Real-Time Pitch. So just click on that, and then you see a blank screen here. Now really the object of this is to go ahead and to say the particular phrase on there, which I don't recall. I think it was the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back. So let's go ahead and do that. Now to actually record, you need the microphone. Here, just hold it. Don't hold it right in front of your lips. Don't do it like this, but kind of little bit of an angle so you're not blowing or into the microphone as you're speaking. So a couple of ways to get this started here. You can hit F12, or there's a little microphone icon up here, so I'm going to hit this one and watch what I do. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back. I then hit the space bar and this stops it. Okay, this prevents it from going any further. You notice a pattern that looks like this. You don't have to record this or save this or anything, but I do need your fundamental frequency. Now, why am I talking into this? I have no idea. To find the fundamental frequency, you go over to this little menu. It's called Analysis. And click on that. Then go down to Compute Result Statistics, which is the first item. So we click on that. Then you notice here that you get all sorts of different data here. One of the problems with this computer is the default on this is such that it actually literally cuts off these figures here. So to allow it so that you can see everything is go to this little line where it's between category and statistics. It's right here. Hold down the mouse and pull it to the left until you can view all the different data right here. Now the one thing that you want is the mean fundamental frequency. The mean fundamental frequency you can see right here. It's actually a second row down here. So in this example here, my fundamental frequency is 100, at least on this particular example, is 127.96 hertz. Okay, so that's really the figure you want. You don't want the one above it, you want the second one. Okay, so you record that and just follow the instructions on how it should be displayed and submitted. A second measure you want on there is something referred to as jitter. Now if you look down here, you don't see jitter at all, but what you want is this one that says RAP percent, R-A-P percent. In this case, it's actually 0.58 or 0.58%. So that's the figure that you want to do. And again, that you would record that figure and then tell whether that's within normal limits or not. The third measure you want is if you click over here to energy, this would be the shimmer measurements, and you can see the mean shimmer down here. This is a particular one that you want. So just like that, you can see that it just took a minute, not even a minute, to make a recording, and then go over again to the Analyze, pull down the first menu option, and it would give you this reading here. Again, we want pitch. Take your fundamental frequency, your jitter or RAP percent, click over on the energy tab, and you can then find your shimmer measurements. Okay. This also gives you in terms of your mean decibel reading as well. So, but you don't need to record that. So we'll close that window, and you're finished with the first part of the lab. Now a second part of the lab is to actually do spectrograms. Now you do that a little bit differently. Oh, I forgot. You want to go ahead and, okay, this part you don't really have to save this data here. When we get to the spectrograms, you're going to have to save those, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so what I need to do is go over back to our menu options here. Again, this was a VisiPitch, and go to real-time spectrogram. Click on that. Again, you see the same blank screen. Now my goal is to go ahead and let's see if this works. I hope it does. I might have to change, make a change on the setting here, but so what I want to do is to say the three vowels, E, Ah, Oo. Okay? And I want to make sure that I say them in this time period here. And I want to go ahead and save it before, or stop the recording before it goes around. I'll show you what happens if you wait too long. A, E, Oo. You notice that it wrapped around and started recording again. You don't want to do that, so you have to be a little bit quick on the trigger here. So let me go ahead here and show you how you should do it. Let me close everything out. Start again. Okay. Again, I really want to say E, Ah, Oo, all within that time period. Okay, you might need two people to do this, but let's see if I can do this. E, Ah, Oo, like this. Also, when you're doing this, saying them, try not to change your formats too much. In other words, don't go E, Ah, Oo. Try to go E, Ah, Oo. That way your formats will be easier to read. Otherwise, they're going to start to look like this at the end. Okay, then what I want to do then is to go ahead and get the F1, F2, and F3 readings of these different of these different vowels. So let me take your mouse over here to the left and drag it to where you want. So usually right in the middle of the vowel. Then you can vertically go up and down here. And as you notice, as I do this, what happens, oops, okay, is if you look at, there's a Y reading here. See, right now it says 2334 Hertz. You may not be able to see it on the video, but that's what you're going to be reading. You see a small horizontal red line now, and just drag that to the area that you want to measure. So I want to measure F1. So for the E, that's about where it is. Right here is F1. Notice it says 356. So I would write that down for the E phoneme, first format, 356. I then find that very small vertical horizontal bar, drag it up here to F2, which would be located right here. And you can see that it says 2393 Hertz, and F3 would be right up here, which in this case is 3303 Hertz. I then, after you've written that down for the E, go to the Ah vowel. here we go again. This one is a little bit difficult to see, but here is F1, 7771, F2, 1147, and here's F3 up here. I would then drag it down here and again do the same thing in terms of F1, F2, and F3. So that's the data that you need. Now I had mentioned that you should be able to print this off here, but unfortunately the printer on here doesn't work very well. So what you need to do is to copy this data onto a flash drive, go to a computer. You can go to your home computer, you can go to a lab computer, and then print these results off here. Now this is how you actually save it to the flash drive. Unfortunately I forgot to bring a flash drive. You didn't bring one, did you? Oh, okay, I'll just kind of show you the process. First of all, you need to put the flash drive in. This is the part where you need the video. This is why one of the motivating factors behind getting the video is the computer, which is here. There's a flap right in front. Now you put right where my finger is where you put the flash drive. Okay? And it actually, you might have to even get below here to kind of look up there because it has a funny angle that you have to put it in, almost like a 45-degree angle. Once it's in place, then you're set. Then you have to copy it to this recording to your flash drive. And again, you can do this for everybody in your group. So first of all, I need to, where it says print screen button, there's a little white tab here that I put here so you can see this. Okay, so I'll click on this where it says print screen. There we go. Now go over here. If you look, there's another little white pad. It says to open WordPad, go to the start menu and choose WordPad. So I just open it up. WordPad. Choose that. Okay. Now what I need to do then is hit paste. Now you say, oh, I don't see it. The reason is because you have to scroll up here like that, and there's your spectrogram, and there's your vowel. So now we would save as. Now unfortunately I don't have the thumb drive in there, but you would save as to your thumb drive. You might want to give it a unique name so that you keep your particular spectrogram separate from other people. You then, like I said, find a lab, print it off, and make sure that you can see all three of your vowels. You might have to play around with it a little bit like this. But anyway, once you see all three vowels, then go ahead and mark, after you've printed them off, just take a pen and mark where your F1, F2, and F3 vowels are. Even though that you've already written them down as far as part of your table. But one of the reasons why I'd like to see you mark them through, just put a horizontal line to where you think the F1, F2, and F3 format frequencies are. And that way I can tell whether you're looking at the proper bar here as far as format frequencies. Now one thing that is important is if you're not sure in terms of which one is which, you might look into that the D2L reading on speech production, and it'll tell you about where you would, I lied to you. Go into your textbook, there's a section on there as to where you would expect these F1, F2, and F3 readings would occur. So for example, let's say that you thought that this was really F1, which it's not, it's F2. By just, on your data you had something like 2,500, 2,300 hertz. Well, when you go back to the table, you know that the F1 can't occur at 2,300 hertz. It's somewhere around 400 or 500 hertz. So then you'd have to start looking around here in this area for your F1 reading. And the same thing with F2 and F3. So if you have any technical questions is certainly while you're down here, you can check to see if I'm in my office, and if so, I can help you. If not, just right next to it is the grad assistants, Shanna and Stephanie, and they could probably help you if they happen to be in at the time, and that's pretty much it. So again, follow the instructions. There are step-by-step instructions on how to use a computer, how to copy this data, and then also how to present the data in terms of the lab instructions. So, and then the other thing that you should certainly do is to look at the rubric, which is on D2L, because that's the things that I'm going to be looking for. So kind of grade yourself before you give it in to me, and I think that'll help you quite a bit. After you've finished everything, close out your program. Close this. You can leave the monitor on. However, you should turn off the power for the VisiPitch, and then where it says Start, then go ahead and shut it down from here. Oops, I'm sorry. Turn off the computer. And that's all there is to it. The end.